Okay, so we are recording our review session, and the first question is number one, and we're trying to figure out how to find the sum. So, Amy, if you remember when we did these problems here, every time we were doing these kind of sums, we normally started off with one. And so I want you to notice here, we're not starting off with the number one, we're actually starting off with 41. But I'm going to make something up. I'm going to say, I'm going to call this sum one, okay? And that's why I'm using the little one down there. Because I want to think about if I had this problem, then I would know how to do this because we did some like these earlier. So if you remember when we did this type of problem here, what I would do is I would write the problem down again. But instead of me starting at the beginning, I would start at the end. And then what we would do is we would add straight down. So someone and another someone, excuse me, would actually give me twice that sum. And if I add 1 and 118, that's going to give me 119. And if I add 2 and 117, that's also going to give me 119. And we're going to keep getting 119 as we go along. So then we would say, look, this is 2 sum 1, and we're really taking the number 119 and we're adding it up so many times. And if we wanted to know how many times are we adding it up, we could just look at the last number there. We're really adding this thing up 118 times. So if we wanted to find the sum 1, what we would do then is we would divide everything here by 2. And I would say sum 1 is going to be, and I'm just going to take my calculator right here. This is just a real basic calculator, but I'm going to say what's 119 times 118 and divide it by 2. And I would come up with 7,021. Now I know that this answer is much bigger than what I'm looking for because the one that I'm looking for actually starts at 41 and we started off here at 1, right? So I know that this number is way too big, but it's okay. We're going to keep working. What we're going to do now is, since we started off with 1, somewhere down the line here, we had the number 40. I want to get rid of those numbers, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, look, let me do sum 2. Sum 2 will be 1 plus 2, and I'm going to keep going all the way down until I hit 40. And I'm going to do it just like we did before. I'm going to start again, but I'm going to start from the end, and I'm going to go all the way down to 1. And so now, if I were to add straight down here, oops, sometimes my pen freezes, it keeps freezing. Okay, so if I were to add straight down, that would give me 2 sum 2. And if I add, that's going to give me 41 and another 41. And I'm going to keep getting 41s all the way down, okay? And we might say, well, how many times are we adding up the number 41? Again, all we got to do is look at that last number. We're adding it up 40 times. So in order for me to solve for sum 2, I can just divide everything here by 2. So sum 2 is going to be 41 times 40 divided by 2. And I'll do that part on my calculator as well. So I'll say, look, what's 40 times 41 and divide it by 2? And I'm coming up with 820. Now, the reason why I wanted to do that is because since in our original problem up here, we were starting at the number 41. Well, if I know that when I start from 1 to 118, I know that that answer is 7,021, and I know that the first 40 is going to be 820. So what we can do is we can say, look, let's take 7021 and let's subtract 820, and let's see what we end up with. So if I take 7021 minus 820, I'm going to end up with 6,201, and that would give me my answer because we took everything from 1 through 118, and then we subtracted the first 40, and that leaves us with the 41 through 118. So look, I'm coming up with 6,201. I'm going to come back over here. I'm going to check my answer, 6,201. I'm going to check, and there we go. We got it.
Okay.
So that's basically how I would do the first question. Does that make sense on how I was able to
Yeah.
do that? Okay,
Yes, it
good.
did.
Okay, good, good. Were there any other questions you wanted me to go over?
Well, I stopped at 26. I haven't finished the rest.
Okay, were you able to get to 26?
Yes.
Okay, so let's take a look. Let's take a look at, like, say something like 27. Okay, so I'll tell you what.
Okay.
I'll do a couple of these here. And today in my earlier class, just to give you a heads up, let me see, where am I? Right here. Okay, so today in my earlier class, let me see. Trying to see which ones we did. I'm gonna do that one. We did. I think we did this. Maybe not 30. Maybe we did 32 because I think we did. No, yeah, no, we didn't do 32. Did we do 33? No. Let me see. Trying to see which ones we went through. And I just okay. So we, like, in class today, I went over. No, you know what? I didn't even do that one either. Man, I'm trying to remember. Okay, so in class today, like, I remember we did 36. So on the video that I already have recorded, this one I did this problem already. Let's
Okay.
see, 37. We did 37 as well. Let's see, not 38, not 39. Let's see, did we do 40? We did 40 as well. Let's see, we did this one too. We did 41 today. So that one's on the video. Let me see. I'm just trying to find some other ones that we might have done earlier. Um, okay, so I know we did a few others too, but from 27 on, we just did those kind of couple. But look, let's go through this one here, and we'll do this problem, and we'll see if it makes some sense. But again, if there's any other questions you want to ask me, I mean, feel free. Okay, I mean, I'm willing to answer any questions that you guys might have. So let's just take a look at this one here, just to make sure that we're okay with it. Okay, so I'm going to drop this guy right there. Okay, and it says, given that b 4 base 5 is equal to 3 4 base 10, what is the value of b? And it says, select the correct choice below, and if necessary, fill in the answer box with your choice. Okay, so first thing is, let's do this. b4 base 5. When I'm thinking about the number b4 and base 5, remember, these are the ones, and these are, I should probably write the whole word, these are the fives, okay? So what that's telling me is that this is the number of fives I'm going to have. So I'm going to put 5b plus 4 is equal to 34. So when we're in base 10, it's just the number 34, okay? Oh, come on, pen. There we go. It's just equal to the number 34. So now, first thing I'm going to do, I just want to solve this equation here for the letter b. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to subtract 4 on both sides. Okay, and that's going to give me a 5b equals 34 minus 4 is going to give me 30. And then when I divide both sides by the number 5, I'm going to end up with b is equal to 6. Okay. Now,
Okay.
the one thing I want to just kind of go back and remind ourselves, we're in base 5. So remember, in base 5, the only numbers that we use are 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And the answer that I came up with is 6. So what I'm going to say is right here, I'm going to choose B. I'm going to say it's not possible because there's no 6, there's no digit 6 in base 5. In base 5, those are the only digits I have. So if I come back to my problem right over here, and I say, you know what, that's not possible because there's no way I can end up with a 6. Okay? And I'm going to put okay.
Okay.
Okay, and now we're going to try the second part. So again, I'll do the same thing here. Okay, let me copy this. Let's go like that. And let's come back down here. And let me paste that. Okay, and I'm going to sort of try to do the same thing in this problem here. Okay, so my first step is going to be, let me see what we're dealing with. We have 1, b4 in base 12, and this is equal to 5, 4, 5, 1 in base 6. Okay, So my first step here, actually, Amy, is I'm going to work with this side first. Okay. So remember, these are the ones, these are the sixes, those are the six squareds, and those are the six to the thirds. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to figure out what number this is in base 10. Okay. So I'm going to say, look, this is 5 times 6 to the third plus 4 times 6 squared plus 5 times 6 plus 1. Okay. Now, I need to use my calculator for this part here. So I'm going to get my here we go, my scientific or my graphing calculator. Let me turn this guy on. Let me see. There we go. Let me clear this out. Okay, so I want to figure out what's 5 times 6 to the third. So I'm going to put 5 times 6 to the third power, okay, equals, and I'm coming up with 1080. Okay. And I'm going to do the same thing for this one. What's 4 times 6 squared? Okay. And that's giving me 144. And I know 5 times 6 is 30. And I know that's 1. And so now I'm just going to add these numbers together. So 1080 plus 144 plus 30 plus 1, that's giving me 1255. Okay, now I'm going to work with the left side. Okay, so remember, these are the ones, these are the 12s, and those are the 12 squareds. Okay, so on the left side, that's going to tell me I'm going to have 1 times 12 squared plus b times 12 plus 4. Okay. So 12 squared is 144. And I'm just going to write this as a 12b plus 4. And I'm going to go ahead and add those two guys together. So that's going to give me a 12b and a 148. Okay. Now, what I'm really trying to do here, Amy, is I'm trying to solve for the letter b. So I'm going to subtract 148 on both sides. Okay. And 12b is going to be equal to, let me see, we got 1255 minus 148, and that's leaving me with an 1107. And then my last step is just to try to divide it by 12. Okay. So if I take my calculator and I divide this number here by 12, it doesn't come in nice and neat. It gives me like a number like 92.25. So we got a problem there. We can't do it because we're supposed to be getting a whole number, and we're not. We're not getting a whole number. So when I go to part B on my problem over here, I'm going to say it's not, part B, I'm going to say it's not possible because we don't get a whole number. I'm going to check my answer, and we got that one done. But that's basically how I would go about doing a problem like 27, you know. Okay. And I know you had said you had stopped at 26. That's why I just kind of wanted to go through that first one there. Are there any other questions you want to ask me about? I mean, it's just us, so I got all the time that you need. But if you want more time to work on the review, that's fine too.
Yeah, I can go ahead and work on it and see then what else I need, and then I can just send it through Pronto, ¿verdad?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. Okay. And like I said, I'll go ahead and upload this one. This is, I mean, we did 2 problems, but hey, it's 2 problems that somebody might need. And like I said, I know we did answer some of the other questions that I went through earlier here in the list. We did that in the earlier class. So, okay. You know, if you get a chance, you know, check some of that stuff out. You can see which are the ones that we went through today. And then just a reminder, y'all's test is going to open up today at, I want to say 9 o'clock. Let me double check. It's really easy for me. You know what? Let me stop recording.